and wanting to isolate and orchestrate and all the things that take us out of rhythm. And 22 assists is on 124 points is not enough for our team the way we like to play. So, but we shot the ball well. But I guess it was in the third period, just way too many contested shots. Just
I love Finch salty after that one. The Wolves, got a little dicey there for a minute, but the Wolves put an old, decrepit, declining Lakers team out to pasture last night.
And you got to write that down point.
Freaking glorious. Yeah, I said they would take a 25-point lead at some point in the game.
Congratulations.
How did you guys feel about the incessant and, might I say, magnificent clapping at the Lakers? Pat Bev, when Russell Westbrook, wide open in the corner, fires an airball three, and they were leaving him open all night. Pat Bev was just like exaggerating, sinking back into the paint, letting him shoot.
Yes.
And Karl Anthony Towns does the where's the wind coming from? And then Pat Bev goes to hand the ball to the official and acts like he's getting out of the way of him, like a bomb or something.
Hold on a second here. Before we do anything, it's time. We got to
get the flag.
There it is. There it is. 11 games over.
That's right. There it is. Yes. So they are 25-10 since the first of the year, I believe I saw. Yep. And that is the best 35-game stretch that they've played since the 2003-2004 Timberwolves.
So I would say this about the clowning of a team that has several guys that were definite star players and in some cases superstar players. It might bother me in some cases, but this franchise has been down for so long. And here's the thing with Pat Bev. He's going to be Pat Bev. Like, he's not suddenly become a jerk. He is a jerk, which is what makes him Pat Bev, which is what's helped this team. And Ant post-game dropping the word swag like 30 times. And now Cat's got swag because I've got swag because Bev's got swag. I'm enjoying it.
Dude, is.
I'm enjoying it because, people like you, Phil, have watched this woebegone terrible franchise for how long now? And it's just been a complete joke. Rudderless. I am enjoying seeing this team be good and snarky. And here's where I think I'm enjoying it more. I think I'm enjoying it more because, to go back to the playoff year with Tibbs, that was so joyless, but it should have been fun.
Yeah.
And the whole Butler thing should have been great fun. And it was for a while. And then it just got oh boy, this isn't working. This feels like a team that is in it together. So Pat Bev is not clowning Westbrook and the rest of the team's oh, you shouldn't be. It feels like it's a team and it's fun to watch. I'm not going to lie. I think it's fun.
It is a religious experience to watch these guys clap that team. It's so great. and they shouldn't have to apologize. They've been getting, and a lot of it's self-inflicted. Almost all of it is self-inflicted over the past 17 years.
Yep.
They've been getting clowned on, and this is their moment. They are legitimately emerging into one of the better teams. They're not Suns good, or Warriors at full strength good, but they're emerging. They are for sure one of the 6 or 7 best teams in the Western Conference right now, and they can beat anyone on any given night. They have a really tough stretch of games coming up here. Remarkable. But at the end of that game, when they reclaimed a 20-point lead and they started to pull away again, and you got Mark Lowry and all those dudes in the front row taking their shoes off and holding them up in the air as the crowd goes crazy. And I was wondering, because he did that on the road a few nights ago too, behind the Wolves bench. He's yelling at Cat after he hits 60 points, and he's holding his shoes up. What does that mean?
Yep.
And that's what NBA. Some of these players, when they check out 10 minutes to go in the fourth of a blowout game, they'll take their shoes off on the bench because the game's over, just to ice their knees and to get work done. So I love that that's become a thing now in the front row at Target Center. When the game is over, they're up by 15 with 3 minutes to go. Take your shoes off and hold them up in the air.
Oh, that could lead to some smelly feet, but yeah,
that's okay. Get the flag anyways.
If you're playing the song, there it is.
That's great.
Got the pennant just in time.
And then after the game, Pat Beverly, who is, Karl Anthony Towns is the MVP of this team, but Pat Beverly might as well be a co-MVP of this team. He is I think he is the sort of emotional compass. He is the, D'Angelo Russell has been a great leader and a straw that stirs the drink, but Pat Bev has just brought this
He's a heartbeat
full-on
right now.
confidence, right?
Absolutely, yes.
If you guys are at all unsure of yourselves, don't be.
Right.
I'm here. Here's why.
Right.
And he spoke at length after the game last night about his experience with Karl Anthony Towns, and he said he was told by a lot of people around the league, you got to watch out for this guy. He's kind of a powder and he's kind of insecure. And Pat Bev said that his experience with Towns has been the exact opposite of what he was told by others beforehand. Mm-hmm. He said he thought his biggest task coming in would be to help Karl Anthony Towns this season, and it's been the exact opposite. It's been far from it. Quote, he's a very, very special player. My job is to continue to preach to him how dominant he's supposed to be every night. He's the engine of this team, and we can only go as far as he can take us, and he heaped even more praise upon him. And then, like you said, Anthony Edwards after the game was asked, what do you think the difference is? You weren't here before this, but he said the word swag about 100 times.
Swag out, man.
But it's true. I mean, how often have you ever seen the Wolves that cocky against a LeBron James team or a Russell Westbrook team when they know that they're putting, the proverbial nail in the coffin? It was just beautiful.
And Beverly's an interesting guy because I'm sure his opponents hate him like he is a despicable opponent. But
yes.
What's interesting is, and this is the difference like between a Beverly and Butler. Beverly seems like, and I'm totally outside here, so I'm guessing, but he seems like a great teammate, not a good one. Like the confidence that he's instilled and the swag and cockiness seems to be a club. Like with Butler, it was, I'm cocky, I got swag. And if you do too, that's cool. But if you don't, that's cool too, because I do. Beverly seems to be inclusive. And so like it empowers Ant more. Ant is way more cocky now, which is fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I think Ant is a positive, good kid. But now it's like he's got his dad there, right? Like Bev's like, yeah, go to town, Ant. And then that empowers Cat. And like that's the interesting dynamic, I think. We are just seeing this roster. It filters down.
Yeah. I know we've talked on this show before about Phil Jackson's 5 Stages of Tribal Leadership. One of my favorite books. It's actually right here. 11 Rings. I'll show it to the YouTube audience right here. So if you're sports fans, NBA fans, this is a detailed breakdown of every championship Phil Jackson ever won in his own voice, and it's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks a lot. He talks a lot about, because he's very much into meditation. I think he's Buddhist at heart, so he's very much into self-reflection, meditation, self-improvement, and he talks about the 5 stages of tribal leadership that a team has to go through to be great. And stage 1 is that no one believes that greatness can be achieved. Nobody believes in cohesion. It's just like no one even wants to try.
Right.
I'm trying to think of teams right now that are sort of like that. I mean, honestly, the Lakers kind of feel like that.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, who cares? I guess we'll show some pride for 5 minutes, but
The 2012 Twins really fall in that one.
yeah, where it's just
Let's go out and party.
no one cares. Stage 2, teams have a cynical view toward improvement. They complain but offer no solutions. They generally behave in a reactive manner and try to dodge responsibility while they perceive themselves as victims. So like there's some emotion, but it's mostly just like, insecure and we're victims.
It's not going to work.
This and that. Yep.
Right.
Stage 3 is, and this accounts for about 50% of teams, he says, it's team members compete against each other. So there's some pride, and teams can achieve some greatness if there's enough great individual parts. I think stage 3 sort of explains the Jimmy Butler, Tom Thibodeau Timberwolves, where there was talent, there was definitely emotions, and there's trying, but it wasn't us against them. It's just sort of me, Jimmy Butler, against Cat, or Andrew Wiggins, this, right? Tom Thibodeau against the young players. Stage 4 is the we're great and they're not stage, which is, okay, we believe that we're great and we believe that we're better than opposing teams, and it's coming from a place of sort of rising through the ranks.
Like
I think that's where the Timberwolves are at.
Yeah, that's like
where
last night's game.
And Phil Jackson says 22% of teams enter this zone of we're great and they're not. Proud of their team. The members compete against the other tribes, not with each other. And stage 4 teams display a strong adversity, especially when they have gone through some tough challenges. Like I think the Wolves are emerging into step 4. Step 5 is the magic stage where you see like the mid-90s Bulls, the Warriors from a few years ago. Rarely do teams reach stage 5. At this level, the team's mantra is life is great. It's a highly evolved team that removes all ego from the equation, no need to compete against themselves or even other teams. They just do what they do with joy, and they beat everybody.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's it. So I would say stage 5, which is probably incredibly hard to reach, and most teams don't. I would say stage 5, if the Wolves, don't laugh at me, were to ever get there, is probably without Beverly, where there's a realization where like Cat fulfills everything, right? Because
and Edwards seems like the centerpiece of a stage 5 team, right? Like Steph Curry, joyful and
like if I'm Finchy, my hope is that what Bev is doing lasts and teaches them, right?
Yeah.
So like it's great and it's fun, but one, he's old. 2, he's hurt quite a bit. So the reality is he's not going to probably be with this team for more than a couple of years. So yeah, I think stage 5 would be that Karl Anthony Towns and Ant emerge completely and fulfill both on and off the court all of the promise.
Stage 5 teams strive solely to carve out their own path of greatness. They work solely for the innocent wonderment of discovery and accomplishment. Stage 5 members are focused on helping each other and playing unselfishly as a team to achieve their mission.
Ain't many stage 5 teams.
But soon.
Oh, boy. You got to tell me. You got to give me a heads up. You got to give me a heads up, and I got to go get the flag.
Get the flag.
Yep.
Oh. Get the flag.
Get the flag.
Yeah, that is, I think, last night was just a perfect example of the biggest difference between the 2018 or 17 Jimmy Butler, Tom Thibodeau playoff team and this team, which is that was a joyless experience that was just being dragged through an 82 game schedule, and they were talented enough and disciplined enough and browbeaten enough. Tom Thibodeau just howling and screaming, switch the whole game, but it was joyless and not sustainable. And now you've got coaches and veterans who are actually leading and empowering the young players, and
and
a coach different feeling, man.
And a coach who coaches without yelling. Like Finchy sets a really good tone, and he allows guys to lead. I mean, Tibbs literally would, spend the entire game barking. He would just be up the whole game barking, and Finch, I think, gets mad and frustrated, but he's trying to coach. So I think there's a big difference. I got to think playing for Tibbs as we continue now to see after the Knicks were so good last season. I got to think playing for Tibbs is in and of itself a joyless experience, right? Like it looks like it sucks.
Yeah.
Like there's just no.
Have you met anyone besides Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson who would argue that?
Yeah, and you know what?
No.
I think Taj is, if you were to put Taj Gibson from the time that he was here on this roster now with his skills, which weren't great, but I mean he did work his ass off. I think he'd fit in perfect here.
I'd still
right
take
now.
Vando. I'd still take Vando.
Oh yeah, but I'm just
Vando is like
Taj,
a younger, more versatile version of Taj.
I think Taj is a victim of all I know is Tibbs.
And it's worked very well for him. It's made him a very rich man.
But Finchy, man, he's my favorite.
The standings right now, the Wolves, as we sit here and talk on Mackey and Judd here today, they are a game and a half back of the Nuggets from the 6th seed, and they are 3 games back of both Dallas and Utah, who are tied for the 4th and 5th seeds. They have, in their last 11 games, they have 2 games against Dallas. Basically in the next week, they have 2 games against Dallas, and then they play Denver in a couple weeks.
And they got the Bucks on Saturday at home, right?
Yep.
At Target Center.
And then Phoenix next week. I mean, it's Bucks, Dallas, Phoenix, Dallas, Boston, Toronto, Denver. It is probably the toughest 7-game stretch of their entire season.
Time to put the hard hats on. Time to put those hard hats on and get to work.
By the way, one more thing on this. We'll get to some old tweets exposed here, too. So Russell Westbrook, after the game, he was asked about the trash talking. Hey, you shot an air ball there, and they clowned you. It was kind of funny, actually. And Russell Westbrook, who's just become this defiant, like defensive. He's kind of the Baker Mayfield attitude, right, in the NBA. And he said, their trash talking doesn't bother me. Nobody over there has ever done anything in this league. I know that Russell Westbrook has put up a bunch of triple doubles in his career, and I think he's run into a couple scoring titles and like won what I think is kind of a fake MVP. But what has he really ever accomplished in this league to have that attitude? He's never won a title, other than like being a stat hoarding Tasmanian devil everywhere he's been.
You know what?
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, we know that.
I feel empathy for that guy, though. I mean,
Do you?
Is so it's so ugly.
You do?
Yes,
Dude, he's had 15 years to figure out a 3-point shot.
No, I know, but I mean, this year has been it's a disaster.
I don't feel bad for him at all.
His family is
Yeah,
being attacked on Twitter. They're being booed. I feel
Everyone's
You
family
cared about
gets it.
anyone's families. Who is this Judd Zolgad? What's going on?
I feel bad for him. I just feel bad for him. I'm sorry.
Dude, he's had
it's my old age. Empathy.
In his career, he's been teammates with Kevin Durant, James Harden twice, LeBron James, Paul George, Bradley Beal. He can't sniff a title because his stats are
I'm not
fake.
excusing his lack of success. I'm saying I feel bad for him because it's so pathetic. He's basically at the Zolgadian point of, dude, retire.
It's time. It's time.
Like, but I mean, I feel
LeBron still has it. By the way, the guy I feel well. I was gonna say I feel bad for LeBron, but he's the one that demanded that they make these dumb moves in the offseason. They could have
LeBron's made the roster.
They could have had Buddy Hield shooting threes out on the wing, and instead they have Russell Westbrook. Teams leaving him wide open to shoot air balls with 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
And get
all right,
clowned by
guy.
Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, go all your individual accomplishments that have nothing to do with team success. Which Beverley clowned him on Twitter after the game and said, I've been to the playoffs every year in my career. I've been to Western Conference Finals just like you. I've been, whatever, all team defense.
I know it's weird.
It's about team, not individual.
I almost feel bad for him. It's so pathetic. I know it's odd. I know it's odd.
I don't know who you are anymore.
Sometimes I don't know.
Clearly.
Okay.
I feel a little bad for him. I'm being honest.
Well, this odd moment of Judd Zolgad empathy is presented by our friends at Mayo Clinic Square. So Mayo Clinic is accepting new patients in Rochester and now in Minneapolis. They'll see men of all ages for any sort of male-driven issue, whether it's prostate, urinary, infertility. They'll do cancer screenings and cancer treatment. Request an appointment at menshealth.mayoclinic.org, menshealth.mayoclinic.org. All right, every week Declan goes into the archives and embarrasses us by digging up old tweets and clips. So what do you have for us this time around?
We're going to start with Judd, because Judd has a wild take I want to bring to the forefront, almost to the year to the date. And then Phil and I have a handcuff take from about 10, 11 years ago. It needs to be worth exposing.
Oh, boy.
Start with Judd, though. Okay. April 23rd, 2021. It's incredible watching the stability of Talbot after 2 seasons watching the adventures of Doobie.
So stable. So stable.
I'll take that one, yeah. It's wrong now, but I mean, you know what? Every time I go to a game now, I still thank the good Lord that I don't have to hear doobs after every single time the puck is stopped, including just like a routine save. I'll take Talbot every time because there's no Cam.
Is stable the word that you would use to describe
Not right
Cam
now.
Talbot? Okay.
Yeah.
A year ago, I thought he was, but yeah, no, that is. I'm not embarrassed by that tweet, but it definitely is one that I would not type out again. Although I would take every opportunity that I have to rip Devin Dubnyk, so I won't back off that.
So that's a pretty good leader in the clubhouse there.
Yep, I'll take that.
Pretty good one.
I'll take it.
All right. Actually, I want to expose 2 tweets from Phil Mackey here, because they both kind of go hand in hand. I usually don't do this, but I didn't want to.
But it's
I want to combine them. Want to combine them. Take 1 from Phil Mackey. March 2nd, 2011. Luke Hughes just jacked one. If he can stay healthy, he'll definitely contribute for the big league squad this year.
Foster's.
That's not incriminating. Can definitely contribute. I didn't say be like a star. What did he do in 2011?
Okay, go. Yeah, let's look in. Let's
He
see.
got mad at Patrick
What was
Royce,
the level of contributing
co-host.
though he did
Let's see here. There's
to a 99 loss Twins team?
Luke
Give me
Hughes.
Foster's.
Well, let's see here. All right, Luke Hughes, 2011 Twins. Okay. Yeah, he hit 7 home runs and drove in 30.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I want to see I want to see the back-to-back one. I'm expecting
he batted 223, so that wasn't very good.
No.
But he contributed to the Twins.
Uh-huh.
I didn't say how well he would contribute. I just said he would
Cam
contribute
Talbot
to the
was
Twins.
steady the night that I tweeted
This
that.
holds up. This holds up.
He'll contribute.
Okay,
yeah.
let's see this. Let's see the back end.
I don't think that rises up to Judd's level.
All right. Let's go to take 2 here. From Phil Mackey on Luke Hughes. March 6, 2011. Luke Hughes is on fire. Another RBI single. Forget the 25-man roster. Sign him to a long-term extension.
Declan
Mate.
set you up.
Mate.
Mate.
Declan set you up.
Okay, this was clearly satire. He had not yet emerged
Mate.
as a big league player. So clearly
Oh,
some
Mate.
tongue in cheek here.
Oh,
Just
the
Twitter,
walk
we
back.
Still a
don't-
minor
we
leaguer.
don't
Walk
try
back.
and
Right.
satire or sarcasm.
Mate.
By the way, Luke Hughes, I think he might still be playing. No, he's done now. Last year was his last year. He was still playing for the Australian Professional Baseball League as of 2020. Man, he was a couple years ago, 2019. He batted 309. Oh, he batted 330 the year before that in the
Wow.
Australian League, playing for Perth and Melbourne.
I feel like you're trying to
Look at
deflect
him.
from that last tweet that we should be talking
I don't
about.
think he was given a fair chance in the majors, quite frankly.
Huh?
Oh. All right. Let's see what Declan has.
All right, I also have a Luke Hughes take on my Facebook status I found yesterday. March 6, 2011. Luke Hughes better make this Twins roster. So I
we're
was
just
right with
drinking
you
all
riding
the
this
Kool-Aid, man.
this Luke Hughes Kool-Aid train. Mate.
You're probably piggybacking
No,
on
All right. I think
Phil Mackey
I
back
think it's
then.
sort of it's almost like a lifetime Luke Hughes take achievement award that maybe Declan and I can be co-winners this week.
you guys do what you got to do.
Luke Hughes love. It's amazing. All right, we gotta go.
Gotta go.
Get to Purple Daily here. So check us out. Please click subscribe on the Score North and Purple Daily YouTube channels as we make our way toward 40,000 subscribers here in the next month or so. Thank you guys. And we'll keep an eye on Vikings free agency. Well, it's been crickets so far, but we'll keep you posted.